How much should you have in your 401k right now? Are you running behind? To answer these, I've searched through the 114 pages of Vanguard's How America Saves 2024 report. The conclusion I got was mind-boggling. The amount in your 401k determines how you will live when you retire. For most Americans, it's not looking so good. It's no wonder that we have a retirement crisis on our hands. By the end of this, you'll find out the average 401k balance by age, how much you should have for a comfortable retirement, and the smartest moves to get ahead or catch up if you're behind. People always say you shouldn't compare yourself to others, but let's be real, you clicked on this to do exactly that. So here are the averages for each age group. However, the average is not an accurate portrayal of what the typical Joe has in his 401k. Why? Let's say you work in KFC with 10 people, 8 employees and 2 store managers. The 8 employees earn $50,000 a year, but the 2 store managers earn $200,000 per year. The average here is $80,000 per year. But is this number a fair representation of how much the typical employee makes at KFC? Not at all. It's distorted by the salaries of the 2 store managers who make a lot more than the typical employee. A more accurate representation in this case would be to sort the 10 salaries and pick the middle number. This is known as the median. In this case, the median is $50,000 per year. So the typical employee is expected to earn $50,000 per year at KFC. This paints a more realistic picture than the average. If you want to compare yourself and your 401k balance with other people just like you, using the median is much more accurate than using the average. Here is the median for each age group. As you can see, the median is much lower than the average. This means that the average is distorted by very high 401k balances. With that said, comparing your 401k to the average or median is pointless. Why? If everyone in your class got a D and you got a C, you wouldn't exactly roll out the red carpet, would you? The bar is set so incredibly low that most Americans with the median or average 401k balance won't survive long in retirement. Naturally, I'm sure you want an A or at least a B plus for you underachievers. So what does that look like? According to Fidelity, you should aim to save 1 times your salary by 30, 3 times by 40, 6 times by 50, 8 times by 60, and 10 times by 67. This means if you're making $100,000 per year, you need to save $1 million by 67. If this sounds like a lot, don't worry, I'll give you 4 tips so you can build a solid foundation or speed up your progress. Like building a skyscraper, you must have a solid foundation before you start investing. If you don't, you might find yourself on the 32nd floor of a wobbly building, seconds away from collapse. If you're not prepared for a market crash, you'll find yourself selling investments at a steep loss, just like many did during the COVID-19 crash. You can easily avoid this tragic fate with an emergency fund. The fund should cover 3 to 12 months of expenses in case the markets crash or you lose your job. Before I give you the next tip, let me ask you, when is the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. The second best time? Now. The earlier you start investing, the bigger your 401k balance will be at retirement. Wherever you are, after you build your emergency fund, you must start investing in your 401k. Ideally, you want to max out your yearly contribution limit. At the bare minimum, you want to invest enough to take full advantage of the employer matching. If you don't, you're leaving money on the table. You and I both know our employers aren't paying us enough as is, so don't leave money on the table. The last 2 tips will put some serious rocket fuel in your investments. If you're falling behind, they can help you catch up. 1. Save more. Cut down unnecessary spending, like that luxury Lamborghini you've been wanting. Keep your lifestyle simple, pay off large debts like credit card debts. Number 2. Earn more. Learn more valuable skills so you can get paid more for your time. A janitor at McDonald's makes minimum wage, but a software engineer at McDonald's makes 6 figures. So learn valuable skill sets. While these may not sound sexy, there is no other choice. You either take a little bit of the hard now, or you take a whole lot of it later when you retire. You've now learned that the average 401k balance isn't close to being good enough for a comfortable retirement. You also learned that you must start early, cut down on unnecessary spending, and increase your earning potential. The next obvious questions are, what do you invest in? And what do you avoid? I'll let John Bogle, one of the all-time investing legends, tackle those questions in this next video. If you're not subscribed already, make sure to subscribe.